Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Grumpy Old Gamers. Well, I was going to say podcast, but this is our year-end roundup, our selection of our top 5 games for 2024. I should have some music to play there to really give it a little fanfare.
Yeah.
As usual, my good buddy Rob is here. He's
Hello.
down below. And my other good
Or-
buddy, Damon, is with us. We were telling Damon we only actually did 8 episodes last year of our podcast, and that's why we haven't had a group one in a while.
But they were all straight fire.
Yeah.
No, all cap, no cap. Some cap,
Oh boy.
No
skibbity.
cap.
Skibbity toilet.
Skibbity. Well, yeah, how was everyone's holidays?
Short.
Yeah.
Short. Yeah, but it was nice though. It was really nice. Yeah.
Rob, did you
Yeah.
do you even remember yours?
I don't even know where we are right now.
Just all the
That was
gin,
all right.
all the straight
Hasn't been that
gin.
long. Yeah, it felt like we were just recording yesterday when you were playing that super duper Gollum game.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh no, you played the Gollum game.
You
Yes.
played the Gollum game. It was legendary.
Yeah, the first 10 minutes we were like, hey, this isn't so bad. Then it got bad.
Yeah, it got real bad.
And then I actually got stuck. And I got mad and uninstalled it. I never even bothered going back
Oh,
to try and figure out if it was me or the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Nope, I was done. Done.
That's it.
Had enough. Well, I don't have any housekeeping or anything because this isn't a podcast. This is a
Yeah,
special
yeah.
presentation.
What are we talking about today, Ryan?
We are talking about our top 5 games of 2024. And usually we do a write-up about this, but this
We're
year
lazy.
we're lazy and we decided to do a video.
Let's not lie to the people. It's a lot of work to write.
It is. It is. And you'd still be waiting for this if we didn't if we weren't doing the video. So so as always, the little preamble we say is it's always not necessarily games that just came out in 2024. It's something that we played in 2024. New to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the top 5 things that we played in 2024.
And Brent just sent in his list.
Okay, excellent.
So I'm going to look up a couple of them so I can talk about them because because I haven't heard of some of them. So
Oh. I haven't heard of the first one.
yeah, that's the one I'm looking up here now.
Okay.
Oh, perfect. That's great. That is so Brent. That's awesome. All right. So I guess at the end of each round, I'll just read Brent's
Okay.
game out too.
Damon, because we haven't heard from you in such a long time, why don't you tell us your number 5 game of 2024?
Number 5.
So at the beginning of the year, I was feeling a little bit nostalgic because one of the most important manga writers in history passed away, Akira Toriyama. So my number 5 and my number 4, slight spoiler, are kind of linked to those nostalgic feelings. So my number 5 game was Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And I can tell by Rob's face that he's a big Dragon Ball fan.
I know of the Dragon Ball.
Yeah. So it's an action RPG, open world exploration, arena style combat, lots of spiky hair, and you get to relive all of the manga, all of the anime points, the story of Goku essentially, and it's a great game. It's really well done. It's probably better if you're into the anime or the manga. Otherwise, it might not be your jam. But definitely, that's my number 5. Super enjoyable, and yeah, had a lot of fun with it.
How old's that game? How old's that game?
2020, it came out.
Oh, okay. And
Yes.
what'd you play it on?
I played it on the Series X, but you can play it on Xbox One, PS4.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and they're still releasing episodic content for it.
Oh,
So,
very
Oh
cool.
wow.
yeah. So
I love when they do that with a game, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's fantastic. I do recommend if you're into it, but if you're not into it, it might be a bit of a tough one to get into.
Fair enough.
Right on.
Fair enough. Rob, why don't you hit us with your number 5?
All right. Well, my number 5 is a game that I wished a different Marvel's game had been. My number 5 was Marvel Midnight Suns for Steam.
Oh,
And I started that because it was on sale, and I'm like, oh, maybe it's got a cool story or something. And then I ended up putting like 55 hours in it. It was a really cool, great, like really cool story, like the whole idea behind it. And it was a card-based combat system game. Like it was just really unique for what it is. Like you'd be playing these cards. The only reason it wasn't higher for me is because I found there were some pacing issues around the where I got to, because I didn't finish the game in 55 hours.
Oh.
And the difficulty started to go all over the place a little bit, to the point where I didn't find it enjoyable. So just like I do with a lot of my games, I walked away a bit early. But the story was brand new. It was, I believe it was brand new. I don't know if it was.
yeah. That
Midnight Suns is
the main bad guy. I
don't know
think
if-
they created for that game. I think I read.
Okay.
I don't think she's an actual Marvel character.
and it was really it was just really well done. Like the story was everything I wished Marvel's Avengers from a couple years ago had been. So,
Nice.
and that's my game.
Awesome. Well, my number 5 game of the year is Humanity.
Oh,
I played it on the PSVR 2, and Humanity. It's a game like I can only describe it as a Lemmings like, because you get a stream of people, and they're just constantly walking, and you got to change their directions and put in jump pads, and just if you played the new Ratchet and Clank, there's special mission levels in there that are like that. That where it's
Okay.
just like a constant stream of people, and you gotta it's a puzzler, and playing it in PSVR 2 like really gives you a real like godlike feeling, because you're just kind of hovering over the entire
Right,
stage.
right.
And
Yeah.
so I know that one's a couple years old now. It was out. It was out for a while there, but yeah, I put probably 20-25 hours into it. So
that's cool. I remember them making such a big deal of it when one of the Sony showcases.
yes, yeah.
Then
So
And Lemmings is great.
oh, I know, I love Lemmings.
Oh,
I actually
absolutely, yeah.
I bought a copy of, because I already have a copy of Lemmings, like for the SNES. I actually bought a copy of Krusty's Funhouse, because that
Oh
game
wow, yeah,
is a lot like that too, where it just gives you the stream of mice, right? And you gotta get them through the levels. So, I mainly bought the Krusty's Funhouse to do a video on it, but we all know how that's gone.
Right. Yes. We don't do videos on the channel. Well,
Yeah.
you do videos where you're streaming video games on
Yeah, but
on
that's
Twitch, but that's it.
about it.
Right on. Well, I'll be reading the part of Brent's list today.
Oh, yeah.
Because he can't be with us, but he did send us the list, so we can enjoy it together. So Brent's number 5 game was a Sega sequel called 2 Point Campus,
Oh,
which I know is a series that Ryan really enjoys. He didn't say what he's playing it on, so I'm going to assume it's the Atari, and probably the 2600. But yeah, it's a sequel to 2 Point Hospital, and it's got guys, and you build, hire staff, and run an academic intention packed with wild courses and fun.
so this is moving right along. Then we'll move into number 4, because my number 4 game of this year is 2 Point Campus.
The first repeat.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, what you said there really sums it up pretty well. It's an awesome.
Oh, cool.
It's an awesome. It's a great follow up to 2 Point Hospital. If you're familiar with 2 Point Hospital, gameplay is very familiar. It still has all the great humor in it they that they're kind of known for, and also they've added a lot of just quality of life improvements. Like in Campus, you're really locked when you're playing the campaign. You're really locked to just using their buildings and figuring it out. But this
Mhm.
one, basically, you can make any building how you like. You can buy the land and put the building. Like they actually give you that choice when you buy the land to expand whether you want the buildings on it, like their versions or not. Um, and they did a lot of tweaks to some of the things that you could cheese in Two Point Hospital. Like if they want you to decorate a room, you could just put up five of the same poster around the room, and that would kind of
Hmm.
give it the glow needed to be a good looking room. But now they've added diminishing returns on things that you just use over and over and over in the
Hmm.
level. So that's a really good little thing to stop you from cheesing it. So
Oh, right on.
yeah, Two Point Campus,
Two Point Campus.
excellent follow up, and I believe they just announced Two Point Museum.
I'm in the Steam page right now. There's a Space Academy. Is that from before?
No, I think that's Space Academy's DLC for the campus.
Oh, so a new game. I got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Two Point Museum is the next one.
Very nice. Very nice. What
Uh
about you, David? What's your number 4? Sorry, did I cut you off there? Or...
no, I was gonna say,
Come on.
go
All
ahead.
right, I'll jump into it. I was looking up these 2 Point games. I've never played one of them or heard of them, so I gotta get into it. Sounds interesting. But anyways, my number 4, going in with the theme of Akira Toriyama, projects, was classic game for the Super Nintendo, and as a little bit of a spoiler, it's my favorite game of all time, but Chrono Trigger for Super Nintendo.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I was feeling very nostalgic. I wanted to replay all those games from then. So of course I played it on the Miyu Mini. I don't know if anyone's got one of these or just something similar like an Ambernick or something, but these are fantastic. I've been playing a lot of games on it. And Chrono Trigger, I won't beat a dead horse on that one because it's just one of the greatest RPGs ever made. You should play it after you're done listening to this, though.
Yeah, much after. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
don't stop this. Listen later.
Play it later.
Oh, well, that's cool. That's probably going to win the oldest game unless Ryan busts out like barnstorming for the Atari or something. So,
Yeah.
You spoilers.
100%ed Pong. Yeah.
I beat Pong.
Well, Rob, see you taking a swig there.
Yeah, so my number 4 is one of the reasons I had to redo my list in a hurry. Because last week of December, I found a game called Tape to Tape on the Steam. And this game it's early access. It is a roguelike hockey game. And so basically it's you're playing this gentleman here, Rory McShaggy, I believe it is. And he's a golfer trying to recapture something from some story MacGuffin. But you have a team and you build stats and things, and it's a lot like Slay the Spire, and kind of like you pick different paths, and then you can either do challenges or rest and get different stat buffs and things like that. But you actually play the games, and the game is such a good arcadey version of hockey, and it's fast and it looks good. It's like it almost makes a guy forget that EA has ruined things for all us PC hockey fans. And it's like right now I think it's like $15, $20, something like that on Steam, and it's like there's a lot of content for an early access game, so it's really awesome. Like I got it on sale again, like most people in this group buy games. And I've just been playing it like the last 3 weeks. I've been playing that straight up, so it's a lot of fun. Tape to tape.
I bought it. I bought it during the sales, like over Boxing Day and stuff, and it's sitting on my
Oh.
desktop, waiting to be played.
You should give it a try, man.
I will.
It's
I
a
will.
lot of fun, yeah.
Definitely.
Tape to tape. All right.
And I guess Brent, number 4. Brent's number 4 is Cult of the Lamb.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
So if someone knows more about the game, please feel free to jump in on what Cult of the Lamb actually is, because I don't know it. I should look it up. I could look it
Damon,
up if no one does.
have you played it or?
I played a little bit of it. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty zany. It's got it's kind of a mixture of game types, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got a little bit of roguelite action, but you're also essentially building a cult. but
Okay.
but it's all with cutesy
It's
characters. And,
Yes.
and it's
it's Devolver Digital. You really don't need to say anymore. It's I now know this game.
Yes.
Devolver through and through. Yeah,
Okay. Well, that's cool.
it does need to be experienced, that one. So
I think that was an honorable mention for me last year. That game.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
does.
right on.
Yeah.
there's a multiplayer portion that's been added to that game now as well.
I've heard
Oh.
that. Yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, Damon summed it up really well there. That's
It's yeah.
it's
Okay.
it's how to build a cult simulator. Like
Yeah.
with
There you go.
With human
As
sacrifice and everything.
As only Devolver Digital can do.
That's right. Gamify cult building. Yeah.
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 Okay, well, Rob, why don't you start us off for number 3?
Number 3. My
Yeah.
number 3. I've mentioned it a couple times here already, but it's the OG version of the games I've been. It's Slay the Spire.
Oh,
I played about 100 hours of Slay the Spire. Just like I was joking in the group before, like I normally have about 5 games I've played in a year, but the Steam Deck has changed my life that way, because now I can sit on the toilet or sit on the just lie down in bed or whatever and just play whatever game handheld. And Slay the Spire was like one of those ones again where I'm like, a lot of people talking about this game. I think I'll just try it. And it's just like, it's the textbook definition of, I'm going to play one more game before I go to bed. And then it's
2
4 in the
hours
morning.
later.
Yeah, it's so well done. Like the strategy of the deck building and the taking a chance. Do I go to the campfire, or do I go to battle the boss here? Because if I do the boss, I might get a higher card. It's unbelievable, and I'm actually super excited that Slay the Spire 2 is not that far off here.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah. Ooh, I just about threw my coffee all over the place. That's how excited I am about this game. Super excited.
So yeah, 2 or 3 years ago, I put a whole lot of time into Slay the Spire as well.
Yeah.
It's a great game.
Yeah, you don't hear a lot of people say, I'm sure they're out there, but you don't hear a lot of people say, I played it for like half hour, and I was like, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my number 3.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Should I jump in?
Jump in.
Should I jump in? All
Go.
right.
Do it.
Who among us who had a Sega Saturn in the past? Anybody? Oh, Rob. Rob, do you remember a game called Dragon Force for the Sega Saturn?
Dragon Force.
Yeah. If you want a copy of it, you can go on eBay and get it for a cool $1,300 US.
I was gonna say I had Panzer Dragoon. I don't think
Yeah, but if you don't want to spend $1,300, you can get a copy of Unicorn Overlord. Not necessarily.
Holy smokes!
not
Look at that
necessarily-
box.
Not necessarily the box, the Monarch Edition, but you can get Unicorn Overlord. It's by a company called Vanillaware. They've made Odin Sphere, Muramasa, Dragon's Crown, 13 Sentinels, a lot of PS Vita games.
That makes sense.
And this is it's a strategy RPG, very much like Dragon Force. Dragon Force is one of my favorite games for the Sega Saturn, one of my favorite games of all time, but it's impossible to play. You can't get it anywhere. It's too expensive.
Right.
But this game definitely scratched that itch. It's got a fantasy setting. The 2D visuals are crazy, and the evolving strategy and gameplay will kind of keep its hooks in you. It's an Atlas published game, so you kind of know what you're getting into a little bit.
Sure.
And yeah, that was my number 3. Vanillaware. Keep your ears and eyes out for that developer because they've made some really great games over the years.
Awesome. I'm just happy that someone else I know had a Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
I've never met another one who did. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right. I guess that leaves me. Or did you do
Yeah,
your
or I could do Brent's if you want. I did mine. You want me to do Brent's number 3?
Sure. Mix it up
Sure.
a bit.
All right. So Brent's number 3 is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Oh, okay.
And that's a great choice. Great
Yes.
choice. I think
Yeah.
Played it. Yep.
that. What is the game that's based on?
Symphony of the Night.
Thank you. Yeah. I was like, I knew it was it's kind of a redo of some Castlevania. Yeah. And I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it, so that's
No.
I haven't played it myself, but
No, I think I bought in a surprise, I think I bought a copy of it on Switch and it's,
right.
sitting there waiting to be played someday.
Yeah. Now Castlevania, that's the one where he's hunting the vampires, right? I'm just kidding. Sorry. That's yeah.
No, that's the game where you find
haven't
chicken
heard
in the
this-
walls.
Yeah, the chicken.
Right.
Roast
the walls.
chickens in the walls.
That's the one where you kneel at some random wall and just sit there for 15 seconds and then a tornado takes you somewhere, right?
Simon's Quest.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was being
It-
funny. That's
It's ridiculous.
I've never heard anyone say, "No, I figured that out before. I didn't have to read it." No, I totally figured that out. It's from that guy who said, "Kneel on this wall, holding this one thing for 15 seconds." I hear people still defend that game to this day, and it's like, you liar! No, you did not beat that by yourself.
Mm-mm.
No one ever has. Sorry, I rambled. Ryan, you're number 3, buddy. Go ahead.
My number 3 is Frostpunk 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
Brent will be happy to hear that.
yeah.
So they, in a sequel, they did almost everything you want. They didn't just rehash the game and just basically make a 1A version and just add a bunch of new maps or something. They actually, in the first Frostpunk, you're dealing with like 1 to 200 people at the most.
Mhm.
But in Frostpunk 2, it's a full-on city manager now. Like, you're dealing with tens of thousands of people.
Right on.
It's very in-depth. You can kind of get in there kind of as deep as you want to. And you can also be a little more high-level. Like, you can get in there and really get down to the settings, like, food per people or heating in the areas. Because it's still, there's still the threat of cold. And it's everything's steampunk, like, for your building. My only downside and what I actually thought this would probably be maybe a spot or two higher. But you lose the tension of the first game. Cause in the first game you're literally just dealing with hundreds of people. And if there's a big cold snap coming, you really got to prepare, and you got to be prepared to lose people. And I didn't run into anything like that in this version. So
okay.
that was really the thing. Cause I mean, playing the first one, there'd be literally times where like I'm sweating and my heart's racing because I'm like, man, this blizzard, oh my God, it's one more day. Come on. Like I can make it. I never really had that feeling. Because there's so many people now, the changes are a lot more gradual, and you can seem to roll with them a lot easier. But it's still a very good like city builder. And I played through it once, and I'm gonna let it gestate a little while, let them do some updates, maybe some DLC, and I'll play through it again.
Right on. Frostpunk 2. Played it on Steam?
No, Game Pass.
The Game Pass.
PC Game Pass.
Should I play the first one before I play the second one, Ryan?
Oh, definitely. If I had to
Yeah.
recommend one of them to you, I would say play the first one over the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And should one play the prequel, Steampunk? Because the steam becomes the frost.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you could. I mean, if you want the backstory, you
Right,
definitely
right.
should.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the lore. These
Yeah,
games
all
are all
about
about
the
the lore.
lore.
Yeah.
If you want the addicting experience that got me to like be super excited for Frostpunk 2, play part 1 first.
There you go.
There's been some good sales on it. I'm sure it'll go on sale again. All right. Well, moving on to number 2. Why don't you read Brent's number 2 first?
All right.
Just to
Well, I think anyone who's a longtime listener on top 5 lists of our channel has always, I've personally enjoyed this as well, and I hope there's other people out there who look forward to this every year. What is Brent going to throw on the list that no one's expecting? We all appreciate and we love it, and the game this year that Brent listed as his number 2 that none of us would have ever possibly guessed: Resident Evil 0.
Whoa.
Which I believe was on the GameCube or PS2, or I don't even remember what that was on.
Yes.
Um,
It was on the GameCube at one point,
Yeah.
but
okay.
I think it was a release to everything. I don't think it was an exclusive like 4 was.
Yeah, and that was the prequel, right?
It's the prequel
That's
to
why 0, I guess.
Yeah.
But do you know anything about it? Like, it doesn't star either of the two main characters, right?
No.
Like, it's like
No.
random dude, and he had a tribal tattoo, didn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I again, that's one of those games that I always meant to get to and just never did. I kind of forgot about it actually. Well, it's got something to do about the train ride to Raccoon City. 'Cause
Yeah, I remember
think,
there's a big train section, right? Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I think you're on the train almost the whole time, if I remember correctly. But
Okay, so it was on the GameCube first in 2002.
Yeah.
okay.
And then takes place in 1998, follows officers Rebecca Chambers as well as convict Billy Cohen. He's the one with the big tribal tattoo.
Hmm.
As they explore an abandoned training facility for employees of the pharmaceutical company Umbrella.
Oh. Okay.
And fun fact of the day is that development for Resident Evil 0 originally began for the Nintendo 64 in 1998.
That'd
Wow.
been super blocky.
Yeah, yeah.
Huh. Awesome.
There you go. Yeah. So Brent's number 2.
Nice.
Damon, how about you go next?
All right, my number 2. So, there's a developer. It's called Machine Games, and they made a lot of Wolfenstein games. And in Wolfenstein games, you punch Nazis in the face. And the only other person that knows as much about punching Nazis in the face as Machine Games is Indiana Jones. Brought those two together. Indiana.
Well
Jones
done.
and
Well
the
done.
Great, and the Great Circle. And this game is the best Indiana Jones movie I've seen since The Last Crusade.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. It's that good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But game-wise, it kind of made me feel like I was playing, not in the sense of tone, but Starbreeze Studios' Chronicles of Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay, or
Hmm.
Riddick: Escape from Butcher Bay, back from 2004 on the Xbox, which was a great licensed IP. It was kind of a backstory into the character of Riddick, and it had so much character and it had so much understanding of the property, and that's what the Great Circle has. Like it's got to be experienced. It really does feel like you're playing a movie from beginning to end, and it's long. It's got puzzles. It's got beautiful graphics. Like you're feeling like you're playing current gen game now. Let's face it, we're 4 or 5 years into it. But Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, must play. Definitely play it.
Right on. That's awesome. I was hoping someone would bring that up. I haven't tried it yet, but
That too is sitting on my desktop waiting to be played. One thing I thought was interesting when I was installing it, I've never seen it before, where it asked you to install the high res texture packs or something
Right.
on
Yeah.
the installation. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So awesome. Why don't you go next?
Sure. Well, my number 2
Yeah.
is a game I've been looking forward to for quite some time. River City Girls 2.
Ooh.
Um, I absolutely loved the first one. I think Ryan and I played a little bit of the first one on stream once.
We did.
Yep. Yeah.
And then we got
If we
together and
didn't,
we played this, not on stream, just on our own.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's really built on everything that was great about the first one and like just cranked it up to 11 and Double Dragon DLC. So if
Mm.
anyone listens to or has ever heard of the Game Grumps, who totally stole our, except they didn't. They're around a lot longer than we are.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them voice the Double Dragon characters in the game. So Dan Avidan and Aaron Hansen, they're the Double Dragon Billy and Jimmy. And just the whole game is just like it's like River City Ransom, but as far as like the you get new moves, you get power ups, you get but on top of it there's just so many perks, and like the moves list is like hundreds of moves that you can buy and use, and a lot of the fun is just figuring out how to pull off these combos where you're just doing like bounce them off the wall and then you jump up and you give them the twirling pile driver, and then there's already 5 or 6 characters in the game just to start off with before you get to the DLC. And so it's one of those games where it's like you beat it and then you can easily, right away you want to go back and start with another character, and it's
Nice.
so much fun. Like I really, it might be a bit much to hope for a River City Girls 3, but I would be all over it if there was, like without hesitation. Just it's become my favorite beat 'em up series. And it didn't disappoint. And I played it on Steam, but I think it's on Switch and PS5 and Vita.
We bought it in
Maybe not Vita.
there was a pack. It was a humble
There
bundle.
sure was.
Yeah, we bought that in a humble bundle.
It was an amazing humble
Yeah.
bundle. Yeah, I bought it just for this, and
Mhm.
it had a whole bunch of other stuff too, which
Yeah, it had the first River City Girls, the second one. It had Double Dragon.
the neon whatever
yeah.
it is. Yeah. That could be an honorary mention to like all of us. I think would be the humble bundles, to just keep an eye on those, because some
Yeah,
days you
man.
just get something in there and you're like, wow, I want all these.
Mm-hmm.
Great, and it's a great service because charities get money,
Exactly.
and you feel good about buying 35 games on a whim.
Dropping $25 on 30 games.
Yep,
or whatever, some sort of crazy ratio like that.
That's right. And we're all about the ratio here at We're the grumpy old gamers. Yeah, that's what we are. Yeah.
I'm on a show right now.
We're putting on a show
for you.
The moving pictures for the kids.
All right.
What's your number 2, Ryan?
My number 2
of
2024 is Balatro.
I knew it.
Yes.
I knew it.
You knew we'd have a crossover with this one, right?
I did. I mean, spoilers.
Yeah, there's some spoilers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. So you get to be the first one to talk about it, right?
Okay. Well, I mean, so this game, it's based on poker. So the first few times you played, you feel like an expert because you know the rules of poker. If you're interested in a card game. But it's definitely easy to play, hard to master. And the introduction of all the jokers is what makes this game what this game is. They're basically your power-ups. And yeah, I'm not going to steal all the thunder because I got it in here first. So I'll leave it at that. I'll let we can move on to the number 1 game. And you two can find out who who talks about it first.
Yeah, number 2. Yeah, I think it's a spoiler for anyone who's listening to this that I think we all really like that game, but yeah,
So, what you're saying is your number one game, Rob, of
it's
2024.
Little Kitty Big City.
Little Kitty Big City.
Do you want me to do my number 1 then?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. Do your number one.
Okay,
Rob.
sure thing. My number 1 is a little game called Balatro, and I played it on PC, and I played it on Switch, and I played it on my phone, and if pretty much anything else that could have come on, I would have bought, because yeah, it literally is like you start to play it, and you think, oh, it's a cute little game, you know, I'm going to destroy this game. I'm doing really well, and then you hit a wall, and you're like, oh, how do I get past this wall? Oh, if I get this Joker, and I match it with this trait, and I get this deck, then let's play. We'll get through this, and then like, I can skip blinds. Oh, if I skip this blind, I can get a holographic Joker, and then that one will do the. Oh, and if I move the Jokers around, so this one hits before this one, and next thing you know, it's Tuesday, and you're like, wow,
And 4 days have gone by.
I
And,
have no idea where I am or where my pants are.
Yes.
It's just like Ryan said, it's a poker solitaire. And then you're levering up suits and everything. Like, it's easily my top game of the year. Like, not even a question. It was never even like, I've been bouncing everything else around, but this one I knew. Should have won game of the year, but whatever. But yeah, I loved it. So should we just go straight to
Damon?
straight to Damon?
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Were you guys saying something? I was playing my number 1 game of the year Balatro on my mobile device.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I mentioned this earlier, but for my number 1 list, I didn't write anything for it. I just wrote the word Balatro, and there was a reason for that, because I knew it was going to appear at least twice. So yeah, what you guys said, Balatro. The one thing I do have to applaud is I played it on mobile. That's where the only place I played it was on mobile, and I in this day and age, I do commend the fact that it's an affordable game on mobile.
Yes.
You pay once. It was
Yes.
like $8 Canadian
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it was, and then you have it. It's not it's not shoving microtransactions down my throat. I don't.
Yes.
Nothing like
Yes.
that, right? So that's just another boon for it. And the other, I can't get the song out of my head.
Oh my
I can't
God.
get it out. Yeah,
Yeah, right?
I can't get it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's addictive. Sometimes you fly too close to the sun, and then you get really discouraged. But then you work your way
Yep.
back, and then you jump back in again. And yeah, you got to play Balatro.
Yeah.
Just play poker.
Yeah.
Just play
Yeah.
poker. That's all you got to do. Yeah.
Did you guys get to the challenges yet?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just when you think, I probably had enough of this game, and you beat 5 runs, and now it's like, hey, now all these challenges you can try and all these different scenarios.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, okay, I guess I'm back at this.
My only wish is that there was like a Balatro account and that it would.
Yes.
Sync between the 12 things you bought it on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm doing way better on my phone than I am on my PC for,
Yeah.
for playing
The
it.
touch screen's nice.
It
The
is.
touch screen's-
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now it does support Steam Cloud Save, so if you're playing on like Steam Deck and then PC, it'll do that at least. But
Awesome.
yeah,
That's it's good. That's pretty rare for us again to have.
oh, we've never done this.
Yeah,
Like,
to have a
Number 1. Yeah.
well, yeah, like or even the game like on 3 of our lists. Like, I think we've had some overlap before with what was it? Forza Horizon, maybe.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
You might say this was a full house, Ryan.
yeah, you can tell because of how flush you are.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, anyone want to guess Brent's number 1? Oh, Balacha? No.
That would be so awesome.
That would have been amazing.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't have rehearsed that either. That
Nope.
would have been. But Brent's number one. I had to look this up, but it won 10 Game of the Year awards, so it's a pretty big deal.
Oh,
It's a single-player fishing adventure available on Steam called Dredge. Dredge. By Team 17 published, so by the same people who made Worms
oh,
back in the day.
yeah.
I
Okay.
don't think it's got anything to do with that.
Yeah, okay.
It's a horror game.
Yeah, I think it's a fishing horror game. Yeah.
Okay, I have heard of this.
I think I have too, like on a podcast, one of the other podcasts, but carry on.
I don't know what else to say
Oh.
about this game.
We're interested, Rob. Tell us more.
Yeah.
It's available on Steam, which is what I'm reading about it now. It supports Xbox controllers. It has DLC or like digital content of some sort. Yes, there is DLC. It's won a boatload of IGN and it won a lot of awards,
Yeah,
and it's very, very highly rated.
best indie game of 2023 by IGN. So
Wow.
Very nice, and it'll play. The recommended specs are NVIDIA GTS 450, 1 gig with an i5 2550. So if you own a computer of any sort, it's going to play this.
If you own a cell phone, it's going to play it.
So you can always appreciate when a game that's that good. And that's the thing with Balatro. You could play it on like a Celeron and it'll work just fine.
Yeah.
Celeron or
celery.
celery. You could play it on a toaster
Yeah.
or a sliced toaster. Awesome. Do you guys want to do like an honorable mention each? Or...
Well, I haven't done my number one yet.
Oh, I apologize.
Yeah.
I
No,
kept thinking yours is Balatro.
I know, but that was
That's
my
how we
number two.
started.
Yeah, but I figured yours was number one, so that's why I wanted to have the big Balatro conversation.
Yeah, you bet.
So, my number one game, and if you've been following any of our 8 episodes this year, is Helldivers 2.
All right.
Is my number one game of the year.
That makes sense.
I missed the boat on Left 4 Dead and any other those other games that were on kind of the 360 PS3 generation. But this is one of the best co-op experiences I've ever had. It's the fun is in the chaos of this game. You're mowing down hordes and hordes of enemies. It started out with just they had. Well, the game is being compared when you play it to Starship Troopers. So one of the original bugs.
I can see that. Yeah.
One of the original enemies is the bugs, and it just feels like you're playing Starship Troopers the game, and then the other enemies that they kind of introduced they're basically Terminators. So you're fighting the bugs from Starship Troopers and the Terminators.
Nice.
But just hordes of them. Like just you never have any downtime if you're flying a mission. Your missions tend to be about 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And you drop in. It's 4 players. And you can start a map and you can block people from playing with you if you want. You could just single them, but you'd have to play it on a low level because there's no way you're going to get through it much higher than level 1. For the most part, people are very decent and all about the same goal. Because I've half the time I've just played with randos, and the other half I've played with friends. And really playing with the friends is what gets this game. You for one thing, it's always been a turn off to have friendly fire on. And this game has friendly fire. and that's where so much of the chaos comes from, because you got to think about where you're spraying your machine guns or dropping your bombs or whatever. The other big thing is they have what they call stratagems,
Hmm.
and um, basically you have to call in a stratagem. It's like a little game of like Dance Dance Revolution or like some sort of rhythm game, because to call it in you have to put in keystrokes of like up up down left right up down to call in a bomb. Or and they have a whole, there's just whatever you picked as your weapons for that run, you call these stratagems in. uh I played it. I started playing it um last February is when I got into it, and played it pretty solidly until May, May or June, and um, then my friends and I moved on to another game. But I still hopped in once in a while just to play it. But at the recent Video Game Awards, they announced an update that introduced a third faction called the Illuminate,
Ah,
and they were the big baddies from the original Helldivers game, like basically who you were fighting in that one. And uh, it's basically they turn humans into zombies. So if you ever thought the hordes of enemies were huge in playing against the bugs or the Terminators, uh, they're double to triple the size with the Illuminate. And the insanity is, yeah. So I've been back playing it pretty hard again. I should also
right
mention
on.
it's only PvE. There's no PvP in this game. So it's always
Hmm.
just cooperation. So,
And that's the real game.
and that's the real game. So it is it's pretty awesome. Yeah. I
Right on.
It was tough to pick that over Balatro, but I just thought about, I think about the group fun I had more so than just,
Sure.
because
Absolutely.
I'm pretty sure Balatro has more hours played than Helldivers, but sheer laughs. Um,
There
yeah,
you go.
yeah. All right.
Right on.
Do you guys have any honorable mentions?
I've got one. If we want to do some honorable mentions, I think we're still pretty early here.
Yeah, we actually flew through that pretty quick.
That's right. Everyone listen to the no more than 2 minutes
Yeah.
warning. I had a 45-minute diatribe on the spiritual meaning behind Balatro. I don't. And the Jokers. Yeah, yeah.
So what's your honorable mention, Rob?
Well, boy, I had a couple there, but the one I'd like to pick is actually I just happen to have the game box.
Oh,
It's called Full Void, and it is a Evercade exclusive.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
maybe there we go. And it's essentially it's a rotoscoped brand new indie game for the Evercade there. And the whole idea behind the game is that it's almost like a player one where all the parents in the world have been sucked into these virtual worlds with the goggles, and there's aliens behind it because of course there is, and the kids are the only ones who aren't affected by it. So there's a kid revolution to kind of free the parents from the aliens here, and it's like you're one of the kids and you just start right off with this thing chasing you, and it's like Prince of Persia with like a new rotoscoped game. And it's absolutely, it's really charming. Again, with the Evercade, it was $25, and I just had a lot of fun with it. It's and it's one of those games where it's challenging, but when you die, you're right back into it. So there's not really a penalty for not knowing exactly what you're supposed to do. So yeah, that'd be my game. Full Void for the Evercade.
nice.
Yeah.
Damon, do you got a honorable mention?
Yeah, I've got the Night Springs DLC, Alan Wake 2.
Oh,
yeah, as an honorable mention. I don't want to talk too much about it because you need to play the game, but you need to play
Yes.
Alan Wake 2 first. But yeah, the Night Springs DLC was fantastic. My other quick honorable mention is going to be Advance Wars. I'd never played it before this year.
Oh,
I'd never played Advance Wars, and I've been playing it this year, and it's excellent. Really enjoying.
how much
Advance
fun
Wars.
is that, right?
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's something I can do while I'm like watching something else
Mhm.
or whatever. Like there's a game on TV, I can play some Advance
Yes.
Wars. Yep. Excellent.
Awesome. Because I remember I was talking about playing it on the Switch, the boot camp, the reboot camp,
That's right.
and you were like, should I buy that or should I just play the original? I'm like, yeah, just
Yeah.
play the original, man. It's
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I have two things I wanted to mention. The first thing is Survivor-like games. I played two this year, Kung Fu Survivor and Choo Choo Survivor. And these are, I know that name.
He's a choo-choo.
They're taking the formula of like Vampire Survivors and applying it to other like just versions. Kung Fu Survivor is really original and a heck of a lot of fun. Basically, instead of shooting, which is most of these do, like they're just constantly firing. This guy's constantly punching, and then you learn your new moves that go off every once in a while when you've got hordes of guys around you. So it's pretty fun. And Choo Choo Survivor is basically you're a train driving through an apocalyptic wasteland, and your choo choo is shooting at the zombies, and you choose your guns. You choose your guns on the
You choose your guns.
You choose your guns.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna make up one for Brent because he's not here.
Oh, okay.
Brent's. I was trying to think of what's one of this game. Like, so Brent really loved this Plumbers Don't Wear Ties remake for the 3DO, released by Limited Games. Really enjoys the plot, the narrative, and the fact that there's someone with a chicken suit in the back. That guy right there. I don't know. Sorry, Brent. We just try. I don't know what else to say. There's always something really unusual. The LSD Dream Emulator game for PlayStation, or yeah.
Awesome.
Good job, Brent. Good job.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Well, if that's all we got, then maybe we'll just call her a night.
You guys want to talk about politics, or?
All right. Good night, everybody. That's the show. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you liked our top fives of 2024. And as always, you can check us out at thegrumpyoldgamers.com, where usually we would write up our top fives and publish them there. But like Rob mentioned, we decided to be lazy this year.
I may post a link to the video just so I feel like we get some sort of money out of our yearly subscription to that thing. But
Yeah. And as always, if you want to have any questions or comments for us, you can reach out to us at makeusgrumpy@gmail.com. We always love hearing from you. And other than that, have yourselves a good evening. Good night.
have a good night.
Take care.